Hey, how you doing, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of God Concept. I'm your host, Mr. Pagan. This is episode number 22. We're gonna keep the ball rolling. We're gonna keep it popping just like that. Listen, man. The topic of the day is know your worth, right? You gotta know your worth. Because today I did a few odd jobs, ins and outs, and things like that, and I had to get paid from a few people, and I got paid from one guy, close family friend, so no problem. You know what I mean? Goes smoothly, But the second guy is like, I don't really know this guy like that. He asked me to do a job. I gave him a price. He quoted a different price or whatever. No problem. But when it's time to come pay, he tells me about another job. So I go survey the job and everything. Now he's trying to pay me, but he's paying me for the job that I did, right? Plus, about another 25% extra on top of that for a whole different job. You know what I mean? I'm like, whoa, it's not going down like that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you got to know what you're worth, because guys will try to get over on you in whatever type of endeavor that you're doing. People will try to get over on you. It's just the way of the world nowadays. It's just the way of the world nowadays. And it's sad because I was watching Dane Calloway earlier, and he was talking a lot about the government and how they changed the curriculum down in Florida to say that slavery was a privilege for people of color, for African American people. First of all, it's a misnomer, because slavery was in fact indentured servitude, right? Indentured meaning contract, and servitude, meaning work. So what they're doing is contractual work, indentured servitude. So that being said, it's like, you got a group of people that's out here in our society, in our community, that's running everything, that really don't want you to know that the only way you could escape the plights of having to work for somebody and having to separate from your family and things of that nature, because the whole system is designed to divide everything. Everything is divisive. Everything is designed to divide. Down to the politics, down to what you watch. Everything is divisive. Everything has an arguing point. Everything is like a debate. Everything is never any unity in anything. We got to stop this. We got to start being more unified and stop being so divided and divisive against one another. Don't ask me my price on something if you're not willing to pay the price for that. Before I start a job, tell me what you're willing to pay. You know what I mean? What you willing to pay. You know what I mean? If you're willing to pay, whatever, if it's too low, then I tell you shoot high. And if somebody do a job for you, don't pay them, don't ask them to do another job and try to pay them for the previous job before you pay them for the next job that you're doing. Let's take care of the job first. Let's take care of that. Let's square that business off. Then let's take care of a new job. You know what I mean? Because these days people are so crafty and so sneaky. You know what I mean? And I understand that, everybody every now and then, we all help each other out. One hand washes another. But it's the whole thing about it's good business practice. On whatever level you're doing business on, you're supposed to have a certain level of good business practice. You got to be minded for that type of business, because, even though there was a little clash there about the financial part of me doing this work, right? Me doing this contractor work, right? Even though it was a clash there, he actually taught me a lesson. You know what I mean? And anytime I interact with somebody, I like to socially observe people, you know what I mean? And socially observe how people do business with others and everything like that. You know, he taught me a very valuable lesson on how to conduct business with others when you're doing contractual work, you know, self contractual work. When you're doing something and you're supposed to get X amount of dollars and everything like that, you know, make sure you survey the work before you do it. And whatever that is, whether you're writing, whether you're making music, whether you're doing landscaping, whether you're driving a truck, whatever that is, if you're an owner-operator out there, survey your work and know your worth. You know, that's what you really got to do nowadays, because another person won't see the value in what you do. You know what I mean? The value in little things like loyalty, respect, devotion, really trying to be there for a person. You know, people don't honor that. People don't honor the value of a hard day's work. You know what I mean? Because I got hassled, and I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning this fucking morning. You know, I shouldn't get hassled about no job that I'm doing. Nothing that I'm doing. No type of, you know, contractual work that I'm doing. I should get no hassle. Because I wake up and I bust my ass and I do what I got to do. You know, I have my fun. You know, I write my books. I meditate a lot. I'm learning. I'm ever growing and still learning and everything. I meditate. I write my books. You know, I make my music and things like that. And I'm going to continue doing that. You know what I mean? I'm just speaking to life and to the truth is that, you know, we got to break away. It's an awakening going on. I don't know if anybody else is feeling this, but it's an awakening going on. And really, the era is changing. The times is changing. You know what I mean? And we have to change with these times. We got to be able to evolve and adapt with the new times that's coming. You know, that's what it's all about. Evolving and adapting to the new times and the new changes that's coming. Because we're all going to go through it at one point in time in our life. Whether you like it or not, we're all going to go through it at one point in time in our life. We're all going to go through that evolutional change, that mentality change, that spiritual change, that physical change. All of us are going to go through it one day. You know, I don't know where you are in the spectrum of your life and what's going on in your, you know what I mean, in your atmosphere, you know what I mean, what's revolving around you. But everybody's trajectory is different. Everybody's level of understanding and level of comprehension is different. You know, you have to be of a certain level of sound mind, body, and soul to really comprehend the next level or the next phase of what your life is. You know, some people can't deal with that. Some people don't want to deal with the adverse circumstances that you have to go through for anything to be successful, for any avenue, you know, or you know, craft that you do to be successful or to gain proficiency in it is always a level of adversity because you have other things to do. Your life doesn't just revolve around that one thing. You know, we have to grow and learn how to adapt with what we're trying to do and where we're trying to go in the life that we already have or the life that may be building around what we're trying to do. You know, because anything that we're trying to do, any venture that we're trying to take, right, is going to attract those who want to go on that same venture or those, you know, like-minded to you and things of that nature. So you got to be prepared to either accept those people if their vision is the same as yours and your personalities click, or reject those people if your vision is not the same and your personalities don't click. You got to be able to accept and reject those people. You know, I had a wonderful person in my life, you know, beautiful person all around, you know, they love my kids. I love their kids and everything, you know, but the whole thing is sometimes you meet an impasse or sometimes, you know, things in your relationships with people or whatever don't work out. You know, you might not see eye to eye about something. You might be on your own personal journey or have to handle something in your life, and they might have to do the same in their life. You know what I mean? It sucks because you always want those type of companions that you're good friends with and that you get along with so well. But once a person makes the energy weird, or once a person really changes and you start seeing them for being a different person than what you thought they were, you got to get away from them. You know, and that's fine. You know, when you part from a person, you're not supposed to carry any type of negative energy unless they, you know what I mean? Even if they scorned you, even if they did you wrong or whatever, just try to forgive them and just keep it moving, and just know that you can't deal with them the way you dealt with them once before, because, you know, they're, you know, on a level, they'll do you wrong on a certain level. So you just got to be mindful of that, man. Because if you're a person listening to this podcast, right, I'm pretty sure that you're in touch with yourself. You're more in tune with yourself. You're more consciously aware. They say people that listen to podcasts are more intellectual than people that just listen to, you know, radio or just watch YouTube all day and things of that nature. I try to do the voice podcast style because I remember it was the original style. I think Tom Green started the podcast thing, and also Howard Stern also was doing podcasts. Those were like the two pioneers of the podcast world, you know, as I know of. And it started off just a voice thing, you know, someone speaking and, you know, putting out episodes and things like that over social media and whatever avenues they had of putting out podcasts those days. And really, when I'm listening to podcasts, I'm either trying to focus on doing something, I'm alone, you know what I mean? I'm just listening to my podcast, listening to somebody expound on something, somebody that I feel as if is interesting, somebody doing something different with their life, somebody, you know, that might motivate me, that's, you know, talking about something that's like-minded, you know, because they say birds of a feather flock together. You know what I mean? And if you're that type of person, then I know that you're aware of what I'm talking about, or you may not be aware of what I'm talking about, but one day, trust me, you will be aware of what I'm talking about. And if you really pay attention to your atmosphere and your surroundings, or you step back away from that picture that you call your life, right? And you look at all the characters and all the acts and everything that's going on and all the scenes and different various things that goes on in your life, you will see that it's all distraction. The only thing that matters is the goals that you're oriented to reach, the goals that you're orientating your energy towards, the goals that you're more focused and driven towards, you know, achieving and reaching to the pinnacle of what you could achieve and reach. You know what I mean? It's sad to say that we got people that actually don't want to see you get that, don't want to see you achieve what you want to reach, because they want you in a position they want you in, you know, and that's selfish. You know, all of us acquire different gifts and talents, and that ties into the thing that Florida wants to do, because they say that slavery was beneficial, or indentured servitude, I like to call it, was beneficial for people of color, black, African American. That's a misnomer, because most of us are from this island, are from this land. You know what I mean? The only people that came from other places were, you know, refugees and things of this nature. People that was going from one place, like Africans, or, you know, Scottish, or, you know, whoever else came over here. English, you know, Spaniards. Fortunately, I'm mixed with a lot of that shit. I got Scottish in my blood. I got Native American in my blood. And I got Cuban in my blood. So I'm pretty much from all of these fucking places, all these different ancestral ties and names you want to call a lot of different people from, different geographical locations. I tied to. And I don't fault them for coming here and starting this great thing that they call America. But there's a level of deception that plays a pivotal role in the act of government. They lie so much to us about everything when in all actuality, all you have to do is say that you want to do something and start doing it, and you could do it. And that's all there is to it. Just like you have to emancipate yourself from a parent that doesn't love you, sometimes, you could emancipate yourself from a system that don't love you. You could just stop voting. You could just stop participating in any of their systems, any of their, things that they, take place in. Because I personally identify with the folklore part of government, where, if you don't break any morals and values, if you're of sound mind and body, and you're a person that live and don't impede on anybody else's progress, and you don't hurt anybody, and you're just a living being, and you're just here just living life, as a Native American, as a Scottish person with rights, as a Cuban refugee, second generation Cuban refugee person, with that type of rebelliousness in me and that type of stubbornness and feistiness and drive to fight. I have to say that it's not right that what we go through here in this country, because we're all here at the end of the day to help one another, to nourish one another, to push one another, to do greater things, to move forward in life, to be greater than the previous generation before us. But if we have a system in place that chooses to put certain predecessors before others, it's not right. The system ceases to exist or collapse. And maybe we're just supposed to do things differently. Maybe based on your race or cultural background or education background or race. Maybe that determines what field you're gonna gain success in. Maybe for people of color, they want you to be an entertainer of sorts. Maybe if people of color, maybe they want you to be a sports athletic person of sorts. Maybe they don't want you to be an intellectual when you're a person of color. That's what it seems like. I mean, until you make it onto that television, that we put in our house to program ourselves for them. When we look at this television, right, until we make it on that box, really your intellectual properties are disrespected. And those who know what I'm talking about. Until you make it on television, until you make it onto some type of TV show or make it into some type of industry, your intellectual property is disrespected. You gotta understand, people who do things independently, we do it from the sweat of our brow. We roll up our fucking sleeves and our pant legs, and we put our heart and our soul into what we do. No matter how you want to look at it, no matter how you want to see it. When you're an independent person, when you're an independent entrepreneur with no one there, no help at all, and you're doing it on your own, it's so fucking hard because you have to be a publisher, you know? You have to be your author. You have to be your artist. You have to be your musician. You have to be your producer. You have to be your own A&R. You have to be your own promoter. You have to do all these things on your own. Once you get enough content, enough music, enough art together, enough projects together, where you can put together a show or act or something like that, then you have to book those tour dates. Once you have enough songs, or once you have your book in stores or whatever, or a best-selling book, and you're going on book tours and things like that, you have to set up all of this stuff on your own. It's hard to do on your own, especially when you're fighting against a system that's trying to fuck your life up. You know, and I'm not saying like, oh, it's always the white man's fault, because no, it's not. You know, like I said, I have Irish in my blood. Scottish, Irish, whatever. I have it in my blood. So it's like when you're fighting against a system and wants to put a paywall up against you, when maybe you don't have it to pay, right? Or maybe you don't want to have it to pay, right? Let's go with that scenario. Let's say you don't want to pay no fucking body to publish your book because you already did all the grunt work. You put all the pages together and all of that shit, right? So you don't want to pay nobody to publish your book. You want to just take your book and you want to put it somewhere up for sale, right? Up for whatever, free, whatever. You want to donate it. Hopefully, you know, do it for charity, do it for the children. That's why I did Morals and Values, for kids and young adults just trying to, you know what I mean, seek morals and values and want further enlightenment and further knowledge on different things, on different topics of the world. That's what Morals and Values is there. If you want to follow your dreams and you want inspiration to follow your dreams and you want something to push you to go forward, then that's what One Leap of Faith is for. You know, and it's, yeah, man, we need that in today's society. We need more people following their dreams and really breaking those barriers. Because everywhere I look now, they talk about gatekeepers, this and that. You know, they talk about all types of things, all type of malarkey. I don't want to say malarkey. I want to say all type of foolishness about, you know, secret organizations and stuff like that. You know, yeah. But you got to understand that all of these organizations that people are talking about are secret, they're not so secret. Because every day in your municipality, you're dealing with people that's of whatever organization you're deeming secret every day. Whether they choose to show you that or not, whether they choose to, you know, wear a billboard or, you know, wave that flag or not, they're in these organizations. There are gatekeepers. There are people that, you know, really can hold you back, you know, not just externally, internally too, hold you back from doing what you want to do. But you got to fight through any type of adversity to come out on the other side a victor. You know, in one of the Batman movies, Bane said to Batman, "Victory has defeated you." And it's funny as shit because when you think about it, sometimes we let victory defeat us. Sometimes we let fear defeat us. We let our own subconscious thoughts of ourself defeat us or stop us from achieving a goal or seeing through a vision that we have, you know, of doing something. Anytime you have a vision or a dream that you don't actually manifest or see come true or see the fruition, you know, when you get older and you see somebody else make good or make use of that idea, you know, it makes you feel a certain way. And I know a lot of older people that had a lot of dreams and things like that. You know, I talk to older people all the time. So it's like, when you talk to older people and they say, oh, I had that idea, and you're like, well, why ain't you got to actually follow those ideas and those things. That's how I learn those lessons. I like to learn from other people's life experiences too. I learn from my own as well. I have a lot of visions and dreams. I have a lot of ideas and a lot of talents and different things that I'm good at. But when you're preoccupied or you get caught up in the plights and pitfalls of life and the people that you meet and that you deal with on a day-to-day basis, sometimes we don't have chance to really manifest anything because we get caught up in other things. We got to stop getting caught up in other things. You know, we got to stop being so thirsty to be around somebody, to be so thirsty to, chase a person down or so thirsty for that companionship. Because at the end of the day, you came in the world alone. And at the end of the day, you're going to die alone. Yeah, spiritually, mentally, you'll always have company, I should say. Spiritually and mentally, you'll always have company. But physically, when you was born into this world, physically, you came here alone. You came here alone. And when we go, we're going to be going alone. At the end of the day, you can't fight that. You can't stop that from happening. It's an inevitability of life. All we can do is be strong enough. Make sure that we have the mental fortitude, the spiritual fortitude to be strong enough to deal with these things, not just for us, but for our loved ones. And we can never be the cause of our own demise. Intentionally, of course. Because a lot of people cause their own demise unintentionally. They do something in chain reaction, some shit happen, and then they gone. We forget in our everyday dealings, in everyday, people and different things. It's like you get people that might not see a vision, or they might not like you, or they might hate on you. Thing is, you always gotta be on guard for that shit. You gotta move a certain way. When you trying to accomplish something, you can't move at nighttime. You can't be out here. You gotta make your moves in the daytime. You gotta move a little different. Got to. They got something called the witching hour. It's 3 a.m. Witching hour start. During the witching hour, that's when a lot of, they say that it's like a cross for the spiritual realm to cross with the physical realm. And a lot of times, the spiritual realm cross into the physical realm within the mind of man, in the mind of woman. So at any point in time, a person could flip into their lower self, into that demonic energy that happens during that witching hour, that enters their body during that hour, and do something crazy. It's just like bad things happen during that hour. During that 3 o'clock to 4, 4 in the morning. During that hour, it's like a a spiritual thing where, you know, the spiritual realm cross into the physical. You know, every day, every day this happens, that's the high point of the spiritual energy that dwells on this earth with us in this physical plane. You know, well, this dual plane, because this is a dual plane that we're on, you know, physical and spiritual, because we are that, you know, physical, spiritual, and mental. So we just have to be mindful of the energy that's floating around, the things that's against you personally in your personal life, those energies that's against you, and the energies that's for you. Keep the ones that's for you close. And sometimes you got to keep the ones that's not for you close too, because of certain circumstances in your life. But remember that, you know, you have to ease your hand out of a lion's mouth. You can't just pull your hand out the lion's mouth. You got to ease your hand out, you know. So just be mindful and beware of your situation and your surroundings at all times. I love you. And stay tuned for a word from our sponsors. Thank you. Hey, real quick, guys. This is Mr. Pagan here. Just want to let y'all know that I have books available on Amazon, Kindle, bookstores on your phones. I got 2 great titles available and a third one coming soon. My philosophy is, if you got a smartphone or a smart device, you already got my book in your hands. It's free for download if you got Kindle Unlimited, and it's $5 otherwise. For One Leap of Faith, it's $5, and for my book Morals and Values, it's $5.25. Both of them are packed with insightful information on morals and values, and One Leap of Faith is to push you to get on your grind for your goals. You know what I mean? 2 powerful books. I got a thriller coming up called Moonlit Marshes with a character. The protagonist is Marshall Cuts, and he's trying to get his way. He's trying to find his way out of Louisiana without getting himself hurt or killed or something. It's a great suspenseful book. Please check it out. It's going to be on Amazon Kindle store. Remember, both these books are available for free. One Leap of Faith and Morals and Value. You got Kindle Unlimited. They're available for free. And also, don't forget to check out my game stream on YouTube, Gaming, Vaping, Guns. And on Twitch, I'm GVG215. All right? And also, my music streams on all streaming platforms. Whether you got Apple, it's there. Whether you got Tidal, guess what? It's there. You listen on Spotify? Yeah, I'm on Spotify. This podcast is actually on Spotify, also the music. So yeah, we well-rounded. Everything that I'm doing is complementing each other. So please, support the movement, support my brand, support the positive energy that I'm putting out there. And you guys, be blessed. May peace be with you.